Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Ziwe!
To freedom!
Trying to be sleek, better watch your step. I'ma let my. You don't
I feel like I'm on Queen Radio. You think Harriet Tubman was walking around with a nice dress and a crown on her head?
To freedom! How are you feeling today?
I'm so excited to see you. This is the most beautiful convention I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
All these beautiful black faces. I just love to see it. We love to see it. So how does it feel to be sitting on the other end of the chair today?
It feels great. Again, I do feel like I'm on Queen Radio. I'm just like thinking of Nikki Bars. This is an exciting conversation with some beautiful people, and I'm excited to talk about my book, Black Friend by Ziwe, available October 17th.
Yes. Oh, we're gonna get into the book, trust me. We're gonna get into that. But first I wanna get into some other things before we go there. Is that cool? Alrighty. Everyone, of course, is familiar with your Showtime self-titled show, but you've been in the comedy interviewing business for quite some time. When and how did you realize you were funny?
I have always known I was funny. Like the wind always knows it blows.
Yes.
Like a tree always knows that it's tall. I knew as a young little Nigerian girl that I had jokes and I had bars.
And we get all of that from you, even now. But what separates someone who is comical from someone who is a comedian? Because I like to look at myself as the comical corporate baddie, but what separates the comic from the comedian?
A comedic person is a comedian when they get a camera in front of them. My favorite comedian is like Portia Williams from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Sorry, she's hilarious. When she was like, the railroad, so there was a railroad through this building? That was the funniest joke I've ever heard in my life. So.
Yeah, I love that. Even, what was it, 265 days in a year?
A hit is a hit, a bar is a bar. I don't care where it comes from.
Yeah. I think we can all agree, Showtime not renewing your show earlier this year was pretty shocking. How have you been processing that?
How am I processing being canceled? You can't cancel me!
Oh, period. It's only gonna get better, right?
I am like a phoenix rising from the ashes. And all these bitches is my sons.
Period. Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. But what about the show? Like, what experience and what did you learn from doing the show?
The biggest lesson I learned from doing my show is that you have to be yourself, which is like advice you get all your life and in boring, tomato, tomato, be yourself. But actually, that's the only way you're going to make it in life is if you stay real and stay true to the little heart you have under your medium-sized breasts.
You are hilarious. Speaking of like staying true to yourself, I just want to know, and I'm sure other people here may want to know too, does it flatter or offend you seeing others jock and get popular from your interviewing style?
Good question. What are you referring to?
Oh, I mean,
I don't see it.
I'll say it.
You see, silly rabbit, to be the queen of rap,
Yep.
you gotta get records,
What?
you gotta get plaques.
Yep.
S on your chest. You sit your dumb out test. You got an F on your test? Is that how it goes?
That's close enough.
I
Sit your
took 2
dumb
bars
ass
off
down.
just to laugh. I watch a lot of TikTok, can you tell?
Same. So that's how you feel about it?
I don't see it.
I feel that.
Who?
But I want to get into some more tea too. Is that fine?
Sure.
So we saw you at the U.S. Open. So I'm assuming, but let me know if I'm wrong, you're a huge tennis fan?
I love tennis, and specifically, I love the outfits in tennis.
Aren't they?
Ooh.
They're always so chic, so elite. I just love how people put them together, no?
Exactly. Like I want to be a pathfinder like Martin Luther King, sort of integrating my local country club. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna be the one to say it. I'm gonna be the one to say this next one. You grill people for a living.
Yes.
Now there's a pretty viral picture of you at the Open sitting in front of Leah Michelle. Last year you held her Glee co-star Amber Riley to the fire on allegations of Leah's being racist. So I gotta know, did you and Leah speak?
We did speak.
How was that? Was it awkward?
No.
Fifth Amendment rights?
I took 2 bars off just to laugh.
Well, we'll move on, okay? We'll move on that one. As a comedian and a host, pissing folks off has got to be an occupational hazard. Has anybody or former guest or topic of conversation ever pressed you about things you've said?
Has any guest ever gotten mad at me?
About anything you said, yeah.
Define mad. I think every guest is sort of waiting with bated breath for what the interview will come out and look like, and they are all pleased with iconography, iconic jokes, bits. Has anyone been mad? Maybe, but they learn to love again.
And I think that I'll even add, like, I feel like just from watching it myself, like, people may be offended, I guess we'll say, about it, but I think the fact that you continue to do you and your show's so unique and original, where I feel like people just get it and they understand and they know what they're going into now.
Everyone's cool. Like, honestly, it's not made to make people mad, believe it or not. It's made to, like, have people be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so when dear Chet Hanks is doing a monologue from the Joker, that's just vulnerability, and we applaud that. We applaud that at CultureCon.
Yes.
And it's also, I should mention, I talk about that a little in my book, Black Friend by Ziwe, available October 17th in stores and on google.com.
You know what? Let's get into this book then. How about we get into the new book, Black Friends Essays, which is out October 17th. What can readers expect going into the book?
Comedy and laughter, but also brilliance and seriousness.
So we'll get to see a different side of you in the book as well, huh?
Yes, it is the most vulnerable I will ever be. I bled out to write that book, and I won't do it again. It was a foolish mistake. But the book is pretty good.
Why do you think it was a mistake?
Who wants to be vulnerable?
But
I didn't see anyone cheer vulnerable. But too many syllables. Exactly. I don't like being vulnerable, but I'll do it for y'all.
Yeah.
Because I love you, and I love you for loving me, and I love me for loving you. Chicago.
So you family asked many of your guests how many black friends they have. Have you ever been the token black friend before?
Have I ever been the token black friend?
Yeah.
Could Martin Luther King be a token black friend? Could Malcolm X be a token black friend? Could Marcus Garvey, Rosa Parks, be a token black friend?
Speak on
I
it.
am a pathfinder.
Yep.
Hopefully leaving the door open behind me.
Love that. Love that response.
Don't clap for that.
No, you're good at this. You're killing it.
I'm just kidding. Please clap. Jeb Bush.
I want to know, what's a crazy experience you write about in the book that you don't mind sharing with us as like an appetizer, a warm-up?
I almost get abducted and murdered. That's the
wait,
second
repeat
essay of
that?
the book. Yeah, I almost get abducted and murdered. And, you know, I dodged that. So yeah, that's a really good story. I can tell you the long form version. Basically, I'm in the woods. A guy comes up to me. He says, "What are you doing in the woods?" I'm like, "I'm walking." And he's like, this is my house, you're trespassing. And I'm like, oh my God, I love your house, Airbnb. And he's like, oh, so you're staying at the Airbnb? It's not my house. And suddenly, my life flashes before my eyes. He's like asking me all these questions. I don't want to answer him. And he's like, be cool, don't worry, I have a black friend in the back. I look in the back mirror, like the black window of his car, and it's my reflection. I think, oh my gosh, am I the friend? Am I going to be the end of me? Turns out they bicker. They're like, pss, 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 pss. And they open the back window, and it's a little tiny girl. She doesn't look at me. She just screams, Lucky! I was almost murdered. That's a story in my book. If you're creeped out, wait till you read it. Whew.
Where can we find
People
this in the book?
are blinking at me aghast. Is my trauma funny? Because I was being vulnerable, and I hear a lot of cackling.
No, we're not laughing at your trauma.
Oh, you're not laughing at me, just with me.
Yeah. What's the biggest misunderstanding about identity would you say you have realized you had?
The biggest what?
Misunderstanding about your identity you realize you've had?
The biggest misunderstanding about me is that I'm scary. I'm a Pisces. All the water signs, God bless you. It's our season always. Yes. We're sweet angels. Obviously, don't piss me off, but I'm a nice girl. Don't be afraid of me. If you see me on the street, say hi.
It's the hi.
They're funny. I like them.
Okay. And this goes for me and a lot of other creatives here. What's your advice to anyone pursuing a career similar to yours, or advice for a creative for that matter?
My advice to young creatives is that you have to be really prepared to be bad and suck for like a very long time, but you have to believe it yourself. Like, stop chasing trends. Oh, this is hot. Oh, this is cool. Maybe I could be like da-da-da. They're popping. No, you're late. You're late. You have to have your own perspective, your own vibe, your own wave, your own trend, your own bag, and you step into it, and that's when you step into your own...
Drops mic. Wait, but how do you think people can go about finding that?
Sorry?
How do you think people can go about finding that? Something
Finding
that sets
their own
them
bag?
apart.
Okay, how do you find your bag? How do you get in your lane? You have to... Everyone has an identity from when they were 0 years old, and then it gets beaten out of you by school, work. Like, oh, that's not cool, so you start to change. But what do you like? What do you find interesting? What's important? What's worth talking about? I can't tell you where your lane is, how to find your lane. You know your lane. You know it. So,
and let's even dive a little bit more into that. Like, how do you go about combating people who tell you, like, that can't be done, that's not possible?
Oh, haters?
Yeah,
I have haters, and I laugh in their face. Honestly, you can't take praise and hate too seriously. The same people who will say, I love you, I love you, I love you, will flip a switch, and suddenly they always were against you, right? So who are you? Why are you doing this? What do you think about it? Do you like your work? Do you like it? That's where it starts. And with the haters will come and they'll go and they'll change their tune. Ooh, it's really fun to watch that too. But you have to like it yourself, regardless of what people think.
So you believe in you ain't got haters, you ain't popping?
You do what you want when you pop it. You do what you want when you pop it.
You know what you always do? You keep us on our toes, I will say that. And outside of your new book that comes out October 17th.
Yeah, you're.
Are there any other things?
BX, okay.
Are there any
BX
other
all
things?
day, okay. I'm not from the Bronx, but I love it culturally. I worked for Jesus and Mero, so. Hello, come on.
But are there any
City
other...
Island? Y'all never. Come on.
What else can we be looking for or look out for from you?
What else can you look for? World domination. I won't stop until I'm king of the universe. You heard it here first.
Okay. And
What's funny
yeah,
about that?
I believe it. You got this. You're already killing it. And I'm, as well as so many others, so inspired by you. You know?
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm serious. And even what you've been able to do up until now has really inspired me and my journey. And I'm sure others can relate to that as well.
I love being an inspiration. I actually always knew when I was born, the doctor slapped my mother and he said, "This baby is an inspiration." And then she punched him in the face and she said, "I know."
That really happened?
Oh.
I'm like, is that a true story? Okay, but before we wrap this up, I want to do a rapid fire with you.
Okay.
Let's do it rapid, okay?
Yes.
All right. Hey, what is the funniest thing to happen culturally this year, in your opinion?
The submersible. Not funny. I didn't mean that. Next question. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that.
Is Kim Kardashian
That's actually
still
not okay.
Is Kim Kardashian still a dream interview for you?
Is Kim Kardashian still what?
A dream interview for you?
And
if so,
I
what would
sat-
be your bombastic question?
Ooh, I won't give you my questions because they're in my little vault. I met Kris Jenner last week in Paris. And so she's rose in the ranks as well, risen the ranks. All of the Kardashians I'd love to talk to. They're very, very iconic American figures.
They are.
Yeah. I also want to talk to Elizabeth Theranos. Hello, one drop. I love her. She's so slay.
You're a Real Housewives fan,
I am.
as we learned earlier. Which cast is more diverse, Potomac or Orange County?
Potomac or Orange County? Problematic question. But let me not get into the war that's going on. I would say Potomac because of that.
Wait, but now I need to know, because I'm a housewife as well. Who, between Atlanta and Potomac, which is your favorite?
Old Atlanta, I could read when she's like, the white refrigerator.
Ooh, the ghetto.
Like, that is the funniest thing I've ever heard. Or when she goes, "Now why am I in it?" So Nene Leakes is one of the funniest people in history, honestly.
Nene and Portia.
Nene and Portia. Do you think I should be a Real Housewife?
I can see that.
Really?
You would eat that, actually. But what franchise would you be on?
I think I live in New York.
That could be good. That could be good.
You guys are so toxic.
Okay, and lastly, before we go, no shade,
No shade.
but who needs to read Black Friends' essays the most?
Who needs to read Black Friends, the essay, the most? I would say your inner child. Everyone has one. So go to Amazon.com and order one for that little baby inside of you looking for validation and love.
Well, it was so great sitting here and talking with you.
Thank you, thank you.
And we are definitely looking forward to your book.
Oh, thank you.
All righty, give it up for Ziwe. Take a picture.